Carnivore diets versus ketogenic diets for weight loss. Or let's throw in actually fasting. Which of these measures, these modalities, actually get you to drop the body fat? Let's get into it. Welcome everyone to my humble channel. Now I just lost my voice from staying up too late, trying to get some shelters built as I have been working with my 9 equine. I went from 1 to 9, I know, but I digress. I'll show you guys in some new lifestyle videos. But with that said, keto, carnivore, low carb, high fat, and fasting. If you are having issues with stubborn weight loss, which one is going to access those stubborn fat cells? Now, I want to say ketogenic diet, but then at the same time, most people are using a carnivore diet as a weight loss modality. And I think fasting's kind of like lost its speed, and because so many people started going through gluconeogenesis and autoimmune issues, muscle wasting from fasting. So what about if we break it down to meat-based or carnivore ketogenic diet for weight loss? Of course, and partially I want to say ketogenic diets. But really, in those first couple of months, it might be a carnivore diet where you're losing weight. So let's kind of break down why. Number one, on a ketogenic diet, you are able to get into ketosis with a lot of work and access stubborn fat cells. Get your hormones balanced, blood sugar and whatnot. But if you cannot get that gallbladder to function, or the lack of a gallbladder to help you to digest fat, then you're not in ketosis and you're eating high fat. Your blood sugar's out of control and you start gaining weight, whereas people might notice a weight loss on the carnivore diet. So why is that? Well, because you're not eating all that fat, which has, I hate the word calories, but there's more sustenance, let's just say. There's more to break down and utilize than, let's say, in just lean meats. Lean meats are going to give you protease, stomach acid to break it down. But, oh my goodness, look at this. What? My dude, I know. Soon. I promise you. Like, he's about 1.5 feet from me. So, you guys, I'm going to do some lifestyle videos. Y'all know what happened to Thunder. So now I've got a few more. And this is Rohan. I'm going to do a introduction video of him, a proper one. He's a draft, and he's huge. He's my elephant horse, but let me flip this around and let's get back to it. Get into a house, this is how it goes. You never know what's going to happen. I live in a camper. Everything's being like, my whole life flipped around when my horse died. Because my horse, who was my best friend, is my best friend, got me out of Los Angeles. And you know what's happening there. What a bunch of tomfoolery. Huge performance. So many people getting involved. They don't realize the type of measures that are going to happen next if they don't wise up on how they approach this stuff. But weight loss, weight gain. So people are gaining weight on a ketogenic diet because their blood sugar's out of control. Well, why? I thought when you dropped out your carbs, you were just going to start losing weight and drop insulin. No. See, because if you're coming from a world of histamine and cortisol and poor quality food and lack of sleep and lack of proper exercise and a bad attitude, well, I'm pretty sure that the hypothalamus, pituitary, and thyroid axis isn't regulating not well. So it doesn't really matter how much or how little you eat, you just gain weight. People start developing estrogen dominance. Men and women, once you develop estrogen dominance on top of thyroid and the whole adrenal issue and blood sugar issue, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. People think they're not stressed, but they are. They have a weak gut wall, and then they have stress. Weak gut wall, stress, and everything compacts itself. So you do a ketogenic diet, blood sugar's bouncing like a ball, and you start gaining weight. Then you try a carnivore diet, and you start losing weight at first. But then the body gets hip, and it starts having issues, and now you begin to overeat protein because you're hungry, and now your blood sugar is skyrocketing again, weight loss stall, and you're stuck. The people that hire me as a coach are the ones that are like, I speak to them. The ones who I'm not speaking to, I'm not your girl. But I hate to tell you guys, every single person who has tried a carnivore diet and fasting have problems, major health problems, beyond gaining weight or plateauing. It's all about your hormones. It's about your blood sugar, now insulin hormone, thyroid hormone, leptin, ghrelin, glucagon, your reproductive hormones, and your thyroid hormones. That's it. It's not about calories. It's not about calories. It's not about fat. It is about your hormones. Most people cannot regulate. They are completely out of balance. Completely. Well, how you get back in balance is you're going to get high quality protein and fat if you're doing a carnivore diet. You're going to eat every 3 hours. Because instead of your body having to work hard on a pound or two of protein, which too much protein converts back into glucose, and that's why people are beginning to gain weight. So all the diets make you gain weight. And fasting just makes you, destroys the hypothalamus, pituitary, adrenal axis. And people start having immune disorder, massive thyroid problems, and underlying thyroid issues that they're not aware of. People who do carnivore do it to get rid of inflammation and for weight loss. But when you eat mono meats, you don't have a diversity of bacteria. People don't have high quality foods. And then there's no fermentation of any fiber to create short chain fatty acids to then seal up the gut wall and then also to produce diamine oxidase. And you get these cult-like people who are just like vegans. I might as well call them carn vegans because it's the same. They're like, oh my God, it's amazing for me. And you'll literally witness these people fall apart. But they're so obsessed with what they feel is helping them. They couldn't even recognize poor symptoms if it smacked them in the head because the other ones that they were suffering before are gone. But then new ones arise. But the weight gain is coming because you eat too much protein, the blood sugar spikes. And enough spike drop of your blood sugar that insulin and glucagon, the harmony doesn't work very well. And that's when you have secondary hormonal issues. And third, like your thyroid and leptin and ghrelin. Yes. The solution is this. Carnivore diet for the short term if you're having extreme histamine. If you're not, carnivore is not a weight loss diet. You're going to be surely, unfortunately, surprised how jacked your hormones get when you try to use it as a weight loss strategy while fasting. And it put a lot of stress on this. You are not in ketosis doing a high protein with what you think is high fat carnivore diet. So a lot of people will walk around and say like, oh my God, I feel amazing. But look at them. They're aging exponentially. If you cut out your carbs, you must be in ketosis. Because if you continue to do just a meat heavy diet, your body is learning how to convert that protein into glucose, which does not store glycogen. And if y'all, when I say welcome to my humble channel, I am not kidding. I have 2 giraffes. They're huge, and they were fighting. Okay, that's like 2 elephants fighting. Okay, those are my elephants. I know. They're my new elephants. They're big, humongous horses. See, giraffes, that's a horse bred to be ginormous. I mean, humongous. So when they were out there having a little tiff, they keep busting up my video, trying to get through this whole, how do you fix the problem? You have to eat every 3 hours to regulate insulin. This is going to help your thyroid hormones, and it's going to help your leptin, your ghrelin. Okay? It's also going to help with insulin being regulated because you're eating every 3 hours. When you eat big amounts of food, your body has to release bolus amounts of insulin to deal with that protein that is now being converted into glucose. It's kind of like eating a candy bar. And you can have no carbohydrates and do a carnivore diet and have blood sugar that rivals a diabetic. Now my dog's barking. Playing with the horses. I digress. Hormones, they're all connected. So you eat a bunch of protein, it converts into glucose. You have a release of insulin, which slams down your blood sugar. Now you need glucagon to get you back up, but you're developing hypoglycemia, so those 2 hormones aren't doing their job, which then affects your adrenal hormones. It affects the cortisol rhythm. It affects then your sex hormones. You start gaining weight because you start to produce leptin in the fat cells, estrone in your fat cells, signaling to you, for you to get fat, even though there are no carbs. Now, when you cut out your carbohydrates and do a carnivore diet, the body's like, well, what are you doing? I only know carbs and sugars. It will try to take that protein and convert it into glucose via gluconeogenesis, and it could also do it to your own body. And then you just become skinny fat. So be careful when people say they lose weight, because often they lose muscle, and then they lose water because they're having electrolyte issues, chronic dehydration on carnivore diets, and on ketogenic diets. The best diet is a ketogenic diet, but if you cannot get into ketosis for the various reasons, one being your gallbladder, carnivore is not the solution, nor is fasting to lose weight because that jacks up your adrenals. It might be to do low carb. And if you've got histamine, you got to go down the rabbit's hole and figure out why you develop such big holes in the gut wall and why you cannot eat any plants. And that's a whole another video. If you're struggling with weight loss, do not do a GLP-1 or Ozempic. Yeah, that's a whole nother garbage tomfoolery. Don't run to the HRT patches and the testosterone. And don't use these diets because they can destroy your hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis of balancing your hormones. You got to go down the rabbit's hole. You probably have a shite job. You probably don't exercise enough. You probably don't get enough vitamin D. You don't eat every 3 hours and your food quality is probably poor. You don't know how to get rid of the stress and the bills because this is the world that we live in today. You probably don't know how to use your body. And you might be exposed to too many toxins, supplements, medications, thyroid medications. We're not meant to be on a bunch of popping frickin' vials of pills to survive. So don't let any of these people tell you otherwise. Now, comment below. Do you have a story to tell that you plateaued or you're not losing the weight you thought because you never got into ketosis and now you're rebounding? And now instead of your blood sugar balancing and insulin balancing, your blood sugar skyrocketing on a carnivore diet. My Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic. Facebook fan page is Stephanie the Business Person. I do run a course. It's a monthly subscription where I cover all 3 diets because of this mess I'm talking about today. Yeah, 3. Keto, carnivore, and low carb, high fat. If you feel that you need help, I do one-on-one consultations through stephanieperson.com, and I'm out because I got 9 horses to deal with now, and I love every single one of them. And I have decided that I'm going to be doing retreats that's not just about diet, and it's going to be about exercise and how to get over your fears and equine therapy. It's going to be really cool, so stay tuned. And I'm out. Energy at 57, going on 58. What?